Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about camping with children and babies. So if you're ready for those good old tips, stay tuned. Okay, so I've gotten so many questions about how do I do it? How do you do this with babies? How do you camp with children? What can I get my child? And there is so many answers to these questions, but what I have done is try to condense it to as many helpful tips as possible that I can give that I've learned over the years. I am a mom of 4 children, 1 with the special needs, 2 under 2, and a toddler that's 3 going on 4. So I've had my fair share of learning, how to entertain and keep my children happy for the duration of the feast. So let's get into it. These are not in any particular order. I've just put in a list together that the Lord will help one person or as many people as possible prior to you all packing up and heading out to your feast. So tip number 1, I highly recommend you pack new toys. Pack toys that the children have never saw before, because what this is going to do is allow them to be entertained with those toys a lot longer. You can go to Dollar Tree. Look, I'm really big on Dollar Tree. They have a whole toy section, even craft section. Anything that the children have not seen before, they're going to be interested in. Stickers, books, whatever you can get them that you feel like your child is going to be interested in, get it for them. And just have it set to the side where they don't see it until you're out there. You get multiple things and give them a new thing each day, but it really gets them excited, especially during times where you have to sit down and focus on something such as Sabbath class or anything like that. You want to give it to them at those times and really hype it up. You have to hype up things for kids to really be interested in sometimes. I also recommend, another tip is to try to get them the same item, because what you want to try to avoid is one kid getting out the spirit because they have something you didn't realize they really wanted, the other person got it, and then now you're just stuck trying to switch it or figure out how to console this child because you gave it to this child. So to minimize that, try to just get them the same thing across the board if you have multiple, and it should help a lot. And another tip is to bring something they are familiar with. Allow them to pack 1 or 2 of their familiar toys. I wouldn't say really much more than that, because you don't want them to lose their toys while they're out there, and they tend to forget their toys a lot. So you want to bring more so things that you kind of don't care that they lose. You didn't spend a lot of money on. They're into it, but kind of they won't lose their mind if it's forgotten, But if it's that one thing that you do bring that they really love, I would just say bring it, but leave it in the tent. Just encourage them to leave it in the tent and don't bring it outside of the tent, because it can get lost quickly. But you do want to bring something they are familiar with. It'll allow them to be aware that they still have something connected to them, and it's followed them to their new destination, and it allowed them to feel comfortable and more relaxed. Typically. Another tip is to bring baby carriers. The wraps, it really helps so you're not carrying your babies everywhere. Sometimes when you're sitting down, you may want to just put the wrap on and carry your baby, because it's just an unfamiliar environment. So a lot of times children can get uncomfortable and agitated. So as many things that you can get to just increase their comfort, it's gonna help. So a lot of times those baby carriers, when they're close to you, it helps a lot. And then if you don't want to bring strollers all over the place, sometimes you can allow the ones that know how to walk, and then put the carrier on for the little babies. So it really helps. And that goes both for the wraps, the fabric wraps, and then the baby carriers that actually have the snaps. So whichever one you like, I just bring 1 or 2 and it's gonna help you. Hey, one of my biggest tips, which should have been number 1, bring lots and lots of snacks. snacks for days, y'all. Fruits, veggies, sweet treats, protein snacks. Try to nourish them a little more with snacks, healthy snacks. Our sweet fruits. Okay, so bring snacks, crackers, fruits, veggies, and there's a few yummy treats for sure. Popcorn, pirate booties. Those really help with, not giving the kids kernels. So just be mindful of the snacks you pack, but pack plenty. It'll save you. And don't forget their drinks. Bring lots of water for them, their little cups. Sometimes Honest sells like watered down juices. That's what I call them, because they're not super filled with sugar. So I do like the Honest little juice pouches. But that's about all my children really drink. They mostly drink water. So whatever your house does, just don't forget the drinks as well. Okay, another tip I have, especially if you have smaller babies and children under 2, bring a pack and play. I bring a pack and play and I put it inside the tent, and I use it as their activity center, during the daytime, and then as well as their bed. So they have like a little sleeping, well, we typically pack their blankets, but you can put a little sleeping bag in there at nighttime, and then take it out during the day and put some toys in there and let them have fun, let them play around. But I always bring our pack and play. It folds up nicely, so I'm able to travel with it easily, and it helps a lot. It really helps, because depending on what you're sleeping on, you don't want the babies right up under you, because accidents can happen, and a pack and play really helps. Another tip is to plan out activities for them. Plan out different things that they can do. If there's different children's activities going on in your area where you're going to camp, like at the Feast of Tabernacles, we tend to have many different activities planned out for the children. Get them to those activities. Let them burn out their energy. Let them be engaged. Let them have fun. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help them get their energy all the way out so they can rest well at nighttime. It's gonna help you out a lot. And if there aren't activities on those days, link up with different families and figure out, ways the kids can, get engaged for that day, or plan out different activities in your tent. The activities really help, because a lot of our kids are homeschooled now, so just bringing in those wilderness Feast of Tabernacles activities really is going to help. One of the sisters have created a whole a Feast of Tabernacles workbook. I'm going to link it down below. She has it on Amazon, so that is it's filled with so many different activities where you can learn about the Feast of Tabernacles, where they can just stay engaged. So if you need something, you might want to check that link out. It's going to be linked in the description section below. I highly recommend it. The sisters have already been talking about it and said it's amazing, so it'll help. Okay, so we talked about this in one of the previous videos, but bringing along a sound machine. Sound machines really help, allow the children to relax at nighttime, whether there's noise outside your tent or they're just not familiar with, some of the nature sounds going on. A sound machine really helps them to relax and just put them calmly to sleep. So I highly recommend it. I always bring it. And it helps. It really does help. And another thing is a cordless nightlight. The children sometimes are afraid of the dark. So we want to make sure they're comfortable. And if it's just too dark in your tent, sometimes having those dimmable night lights really helps your children to just be calm and relaxed. Another tip is glow sticks. Glow sticks are so fun for the children. You just can't you cannot just come to the feast without glow sticks, okay? Go to Dollar Tree. They have a variety of different glow sticks. They have the bracelets, the necklaces. They have so many, the jumbo ones. And allow your children to play with glow sticks at nighttime. It is so fun. There's so many outdoor activities at nighttime and things going on. So it's always a nice little touch to have glow sticks. And take pictures of your children with the glow sticks on it. It just looks super cool and they just love looking at it. So get you some glow sticks. And another tip is to bring a wagon. We have invested in a wagon, having a wagon where they can sit down and still fully engage with different activities, their food, opposed to a stroller. It's not the same. And a wagon, of course, you can add things into it as you're walking. So it really helps with making your life more portable with your children. So I really recommend a wagon. Of course, the brand and the type is totally up to you. The price range varies dramatically. Just do your due diligence, look it up. If it's not this year, maybe next year. But wagons really do help. I'm gonna tell you that. That's one thing that I stand by, the wagons. Another tip I have is just creating an area for movement. Make sure there's space in your tent where the children can move around. You don't want it to be too tight and jammed where they can't really move. It gets uncomfortable. Sometimes you want enough room to be able to change and eat, and if they just want to play around a little bit on the floor, there should be a space for that. You know, have a little blanket that they can play on the floor, or like I mentioned before, a pack and play for the younger ones. It really helps just having an area for them to move around on. Another tip would be to bring diaper baggies. You know, there's the little tiny bags, sometimes they even call them puppy bags, where you can throw your diapers in and seal them up. So you just want to make sure it's sealed up properly to keep the odor inside. So anytime the kids use the restroom, you tie it in a little baggie, and then you'll put it outside in a bigger bag, and then make sure you're taking that bigger bag to the trash can often. But that's just a tip to keep down odors and animals away, because animals do come trying to find that smell from, you know, diapers and food and things like that. So get you some of those little baggies. Okay, so going into a little more of the comfort when you are camping with children, I tend to bring a boppy pillow wherever I go. Especially because I've been having little babies for a while, because I've been having my children back to back. So I carry around a boppy pillow, and this helps. One, I keep it in the wagon now, so it helps my youngest prop up on the pillow, and then if he doesn't want to sit up anymore, I'll lay him down in the boppy in the wagon. And then if I'm, you know, inside the tent, I can take it out and put it on the bed. It really helps. It really helps if you just want to sit on the grass. You can have a blanket and then the boppy. And it's so easy and lightweight. You could just carry it around. If you have a wagon or stroller, you could just put it on as you're walking. But it really helps to bring that boppy for your baby. And then if you're breastfeeding, of course, it really helps you with your posture. And another tip is to just not forget your breastfeeding covers. If you're breastfeeding, bring your covers. Do not forget those. We need to be modest. And another tip I have is some breastfeeding covers double up as, you know, car seat covers as well as blankets. So when you are packing your breastfeeding covers, make sure you can utilize it for different things, so that way you don't have to pack each thing separately. It helps so much. Like, I have a cover that, you know, it's the car seat cover, it's my breastfeeding cover, it's the baby's blanket. Like, it just doubles up for all of them. Also, bring extra fans for your children. Children get hot easily. Like, fans really help because you just never know when it's gonna be hot. And you could clip it on strollers, you could clip it on wagons if you wanted to get them their own personal neck fans. It really helps. Another thing is, when you are traveling to your campsite, it's always good to bring, you know, car activities and toys. Make a playlist, have it available for them. If you are flying, the same goes for you. Anything you can think of ahead of time to entertain your child, just don't forget to do that. If you miss that step, you're gonna have a rough time with your children. So really put that in the forefront of your to-do list and create these things to entertain your children, and you're gonna be thankful later. Okay, so this is a big tip for the cooler weather that's coming up. We are rolling into a cold season, and a lot of times, even if it's warmer during the daytime, the temperatures drop drastically at nighttime. So what I have done with my children over the years is layered them up. Either if it's cold outside or while they're sleeping. I put beanies on their head. They have long socks on. Sometimes they have a long sleeve. and their pajamas on, and maybe a coat and their blanket, depending on, you know, the weather. But you know, it typically gets really cold. For my girls, you know, we're modest, we wear dresses, but what I typically do is get those footed pajamas. I'll put those on them, and then I'll put a dress over that, because that keeps them very, very warm. They do also have those blanket garments that you can put on them. It's like a long sleeve blanket that you zip up on them, or it's a short sleeve one too, but you'll just have to put a long sleeve shirt on underneath. But layer them up. Layer them up, because children can get cold, and sometimes they're not even aware they're cold, and to avoid them getting sick, I highly recommend you layer them up at nighttime, and especially if you are outdoors and the weather is just chilly. Long socks is a must. All of us wear long socks and tight fitted shoes or boots, because that just really helps with the weather and insects, which we're going into next. So let's talk about the insects, okay? So I always have a bug spray in my purse or whatever bag I have on me at all times. I always have a bug spray. When you're leaving your tent, you want to spray down, but once that sun goes down, that's when the bugs typically get active, because they're looking for light, they're looking for warmth, they're looking for you. So right when the sun is going down, I start spraying my kids' ankles. I try not to spray them too much close to their face, because they are little, but I do spray their ankles and like anything that they have that's not around their face, like their toys or their backpacks, whatever they have on them, or their jacket, I'll take it off and spray the jacket and put it back on them. I typically do that twice a day, and especially when that sun is going down. And I also use those bug mosquito repellent bracelets. If I feel like my child is too young to have it on their wrist, I typically put it on their ankles. So for my baby and my younger child, it goes on their ankle, and then for my older toddler, I'll put it on his wrist or his ankle, depending on what he's doing at the moment. But those really help. So get you some of those mosquito repellent bracelets. I feel like my children and I, we never really got bit up while we're camping, because I've just always taken the time to, you know, use that bug repellent, because I'm pretty allergic to mosquito bites. Like, my bites get like golf size, so I do not like it. And you know, I don't want my children getting bit up at all, so I really take care to make sure their ankles are covered up with socks, they're sprayed down, and that they have on some repellent mechanism. Those mosquito repellent bracelets are amazing. Another tip is, with children, you know, you always need to have wipes. Have your wipes on you at all times. This is not only for diaper changes, this is for their hands, their mouths, their faces, and to do you even better, get you some hand sanitizing wipes. I carry those everywhere I go with my children, so I highly recommend it. It comes in handy so much. They can't wash their hands all the time, but you know, children are always touching something, so I will wipe their hands down with a regular wipe and then go in with a sanitizing wipe, and then sometimes even give them a few drops of the regular sanitizer and have it dry on their hands. So just make sure you are actually taking care of their hygiene while they're out there. Just like I mentioned before, the emergency first aid kits you definitely want to have. Children are always falling and dinging themselves up, so have some Band-Aids, some Neosporin, some alcohol wipes, some peroxide, whatever you need. Definitely have some cool little Band-Aids that they look forward to if they get hurt, and have like different Vaselines and barrier cream. Bring you a whole safety kit, hydrocortisone, different things that you need for allergic reactions. Bring all of that, and then Lord's will, just know who your safety team is. Always reach out to them if there's just anything that comes up, to make sure, you know, the children are staying safe and everybody makes it back home safely. So another tip would be for bath time. I typically just give my children, you know, bed bath type of baths, where I fill up a bowl or a bucket of water, put the soap in and have a towel and just like wipe them down as good as possible. And sometimes I use my shower mechanism on them. It really depends on how energetic they are in the moment, or if they're just trying to rush to get dressed and get out. I just try to really just clean them up as much as possible. But there is the bin option where you can fill up a tub, a bin, fill it up with water, put whatever you need in there to make the water warm. I typically warm up some water on the stove and then pour it in there, and then mix it with some cold water and put some soap in there and bathe them up. Some people have even mentioned things about, you know, a water heater. There's actually water heaters. I may try to link that in my Amazon storefront. But there's water heaters that you would need an outlet for, but you can put it in your water and it warms up your water. I'm like, whoa, my mind is blown. I never tried that because I typically just warm up my water on the stove, pour it in my water to be able to take a bath. So look out for that link if that's something you're interested in. But going back to the bin, yeah, you can give them a little bath, or you can just, you know, create a smaller mechanism to just dip a towel in some soap and water and bathe them up. And they're typically good. Put on a nice layer of oil and Vaseline, like a thicker barrier to lock in that moisture, and they're typically good to go. So for their sleeping, I typically have my children sleep on cots with their sleeping bags, and they really love it. They really love being able to sleep on something outside of their bed. They feel like it's just so cool to them. So we've been doing that for a long time now. And then like I said, we use the pack and play. Sometimes people just use their sleeping bags on the floor, and that's fine as well, as long as you've, you know, made a cushion underneath your tent. That's fine. That's how we used to do it when I was younger. So but kids really love having their own little personalized sleeping bags, whether it's, you know, a fun character they love or a favorite color they love. So really get into it and hype them up and get them excited about using their little cots and their little sleeping bags outdoors, and they're gonna be so excited. Okay, and lastly, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but make sure you go out there with marshmallows, lawful marshmallows, not with the pork gelatin, but lawful marshmallows that will still melt down very nicely. They're the big chunky ones where you can put it on Reese's and Hershey's, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love s'mores. But get you some marshmallows, get you the little roasting forks, and find you a fire pit. If you don't have one, find you one. Look for your neighbor or go find somebody doing it. Somebody's gonna be out there doing it, and ask if you can sit and allow your children to roast some marshmallows. But it's such a fun addition. Children just love s'mores, so really think about your children. Allow them to do fun things like that and create lasting memories. Okay, and there is so many more tips and tricks and hacks that I would love to go into as far as the children go, but there's just not enough time in the day. So I'm just gonna end it there, and I really pray and hope that these tips are really helpful to at least one person. If you have any other ideas or any other tips that you would like to share, please use the comment section below. Let me know if any of these tips helped you. I really love feedback. I really hope you enjoy the feast and you have a wonderful camping experience with your children this year. And as always, I'll catch you next time. Bye.